What if your monthly rent could fund an entire life somewhere warmer, safer, and more interesting, complete with great coffee, walkable neighborhoods, and a desk by the beach? In 2026, geo-arbitrage isn't a fantasy. It's a spreadsheet with flights. In this video, I'm breaking down 10 countries where a comfortable, modern life can cost less than a typical rent check in major US, UK, and EU cities, complete with realistic monthly budgets, typical rents, and the visa routes people actually use. No hype, just clarity so you can compare apples to passports. Portugal first, because lifestyle to cost is hard to beat. Outside Lisbon's center, your money stretches in cities like Porto, Braga, and Coimbra. A modern one-bedroom can run far below big city rents, and monthly living, with groceries, cafes, transport, and a co-working pass, often stays comfortably under what many pay just for rent in New York or London. Healthcare is accessible and affordable. Trains connect cultured towns, and the cafe culture is a daily joy. Visa paths worth noting in 2026: the digital Nomad visa for remote earners, the D7 passive income route, and student options tied to Portuguese universities. Portugal wins on safety, friendliness, and a lifestyle that feels luxurious without spending like it. Mexico is the classic closer-than-you-think move. Target Mexico City's secondary neighborhoods, or coastal hubs like Puerto Vallarta and Playa del Carmen, or colonial gems like Mérida and Oaxaca City. Your monthly budget can cover a stylish one-bedroom, eating out multiple times a week, Spanish classes, and weekend trips, still totaling less than a rent check in many Western capitals. The temporary resident visa is the route for most long-stayers. It's income or savings-based with multiple years possible. Add in short flights to the U.S., vibrant culture, and a food scene that becomes part of your day, not a special occasion. Thailand remains the Southeast Asia benchmark. In Chiang Mai or parts of Bangkok beyond the hottest zones, a modern apartment, daily street food, SIM and fiber internet, and even weekly massages keep total monthly costs pleasantly low. You can realistically budget far less than Western rents for a full, active life. Visa options include education visas, study Thai or other subjects, certain long-stay visas, and the Thailand Privilege Program for multi-year stays. Add world-class hospitals, co-working everywhere, and an expat community that shares all the best-kept secrets. Vietnam's value proposition is outrageous, in the best way. Da Nang for a beach city blend, Hoi An for charm, Hanoi for culture, and Ho Chi Minh City for big energy. Expect modern housing at strikingly reasonable prices, street food that ruins you for anything else, and a cafe culture built for remote work. Monthly budgets comfortably under a Western rent check are normal here. Visa policies evolve, but e-visas exist for short stays, with agency-assisted routes for longer terms. Vietnam's daily life quality, walk-to-coffee, fresh produce markets, friendly neighborhoods, makes it sticky. Turkey gives you two distinct lifestyles: sea views on the Aegean and Mediterranean coasts, Izmir, Antalya, Fethiye, or cosmopolitan Istanbul beyond the most touristy districts. A stylish apartment, weekly market hauls, transit, and dinners out can keep monthly totals well beneath big city Western rents. Short-term residence permits have seen shifting policies, but are still pursued by many. Always check the latest rules and neighborhood restrictions. The Mediterranean light, stunning produce, and Europe meets Asia cultural mix deliver a lifestyle that feels richer than the price tag. Georgia, centered on Tbilisi and Batumi, is the open door of the Caucasus. Costs are low, apartments are large, and the cafe and wine scenes are better than you expect. Many remote workers take advantage of historically friendlier entry policies and simple banking. Monthly budgets, rent, groceries, cafes, transport, often land at a fraction of Western rents. Visa regimes change. Georgia has offered generous stays for many nationalities and paths for freelancers or company registration. Check current rules before you fly. Mountains, Black Sea weekends, and a creative expat scene make it quietly compelling. Malaysia blends infrastructure with affordability. Kuala Lumpur offers modern condos with pools and gyms, world-class malls, and a train network. Penang offers heritage charm and legendary food. Monthly living, including rent for a modern apartment, mobile and fiber, eating out, and weekend travel, typically totals less than rent alone in expensive Western cities. Long-stay routes include the Malaysia My Second Home MM2H program with varying state-level options, plus student and specific work or dependent visas. English is widely used, healthcare is excellent, and it's a perfect base for Asia hops. Colombia has matured into a top-value pick. Medellin, spring weather, new metro lines, hillside views, lets you live stylishly on a sensible budget. Bogotá is denser and more urban. Coastal Cartagena is historic and hot. Add Spanish classes, gym or dance, weekend flights, and you're still under a typical big city rent. Visa options include digital nomad routes for remote income and other residency categories. Always check current income thresholds. The big win is quality of life, leafy neighborhoods, a social rhythm, and a creative scene that pulls you out of your apartment. Indonesia offers two archetypes: Bali's Canggu Uluwatu work surf yoga bubble and big city Jakarta's urban value. Bali's monthly life, with villa-style apartments, scooters, co-working, and fresh bowls or warung meals, can still cost less than Western rent, especially outside the trendiest pockets. Indonesia has introduced a wider set of visas including business, social, and certain long-stay options. Requirements can change quickly, so verify with official sources or a reputable agent. If your ideal day includes sunrise coffee, late morning deep work, and sunset beach walks, it's hard to beat. Albania is Europe's sleeper. Tirana's cafe-lined streets and beachfront duries or the Riviera towns give you Mediterranean life without Mediterranean prices. Rent for a modern one-bedroom, groceries, cafes, and inner-city buses keep monthly totals manageable, often well under Western urban rents. Visa-free periods for many nationalities make long exploratory stays possible. Longer-term residence pathways exist for work, study, or business. Check current criteria. You get European time zones, Adriatic beaches, and a capital that feels friendly and fresh. Here's how to sanity check your move. First, run a total life budget, not just rent, housing, utilities, mobile plus fiber, groceries, eating out 3 to 5 times a week, transport, gym or co-working, healthcare buffer, and flights home. Second, anchor to neighborhoods, not cities. The difference between a trend strip and a locals block can be hundreds a month. Third, test for 30 to 60 days. Book a monthly apartment, live your real routine, and track costs daily. Fourth, confirm visa realities on official government sites or with licensed agents. Policy can change yearly. Fifth, check healthcare and prescriptions. Many countries offer excellent private care at low costs, but bring documentation for any ongoing meds. Work rhythm matters. If you're remote, verify time zone overlap with your clients. Prioritize fiber speeds in your building and a backup SIM with hotspot. Co-working day passes are everywhere now. Build them into your budget. For families, research schooling early. International schools can be your biggest line item. For safety, learn the local norms, petty theft risks in tourist zones, scooter rules, how to use licensed taxis or ride-hailing. Common sense plus local advice goes far. The visa landscape simplified. Digital nomad visas are growing, usually income-based with health insurance proof and clean background checks. Passive income or retirement visas focus on predictable monthly inflows. Student visas work if you genuinely enroll. Language schools are a popular path. Business or self-employment routes exist in several countries if you formalize your work locally. Whatever the path, keep digital copies of everything, translate where needed, and respect stay limits. Visa runs are less reliable than they used to be. If your rent has been your biggest frustration, this is your permission slip to compare the world by monthly cost and daily joy. Portugal for cafe culture and trains. Mexico for color and proximity. Thailand and Vietnam for value and food that ruins you for chain restaurants. Turkey for coastlines and culture. Georgia for openness and wine. Malaysia for infrastructure and ease. Colombia for spring weather and creative neighborhoods. Indonesia for nature and rhythm. Albania for Europe without the price tag. Your spreadsheet can be a boarding pass. Price your life, check the visa, book a month, and see how far your rent can really go in 2026.